Durst the worst?
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Oh, Durst the worst.
Durst is the worst.
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst?
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Possible white pill that we have here. So, this is always good to see. Breaking, 2 Antifa indicted for targeting pro-life pregnancy center in Florida, quote, Jane's revenge attack. So, I followed at least a couple of these people locally. I was walking down the street in my hometown of Milwaukee, and I saw a couple of these fucking people whinging about a pregnancy resource center, basically like complaining and agitating over a place that simply helps women, you know, when they're pregnant, gives them resources, and they have a problem with that because they have a problem with the fact that the place doesn't offer abortions. And so there's been a string of terrorist attacks by this group, Jane's Revenge. They're an Antifa leftist, far left group, and you can see they have wonderful physiognomy. He looks like a super mutant meets like a ghoul meets Gollum, and this blobular mass looks like something. But it looks like they're going to get some charges that are fairly serious. The Department of Justice has indicted 2 Florida residents on charges of a civil rights conspiracy for spray painting threats on reproductive health services and for violating the FACE Act. If convicted, the 2 could face up to 12 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and up to $350,000 in fines. So we know slap on the wrist, catch and release, whatever, but, you know, if even a fraction of this holds, that would be fucking cool. And, you know, Florida, I think they have a pretty hard reputation as far as criminal justice is concerned, just generally speaking. And, you know, this group, Jane's Revenge, has been, and leftist groups alike, have been treated with kid gloves. But, yeah, I mean, they were premeditated, putting out literature saying that they were going to fucking riot, they were going to burn these places. They've already firebombed and taken credit for firebombing a bunch of these pregnancy resource centers. And it got to the point where even KJP denounced it. Wait, what does this say? The grand jury indictment from the Middle District of Florida alleges that Caleb Freestone, 27, and Amber Smith Stewart, 23, engaged in a conspiracy to prevent employees of reproductive health services facilities from providing those services. So it's like a nice way of saying that they were probably just going to like get some kerosene and light a match. But let's see what KJP has to say. The Biden administration says that they denounce this sort of stuff, but they don't really seem to want to fucking do anything about it. So in my opinion, they're all paid by the same fucking donors and the same nonprofits. So it's just, you know, it's just fluff, but we'll check it out.
2 questions, one foreign, one domestic. I'll just follow up
Come on,
the
KJP.
violence we're talking about. As we get closer to the Supreme Court decision on Roe, there's a group that has been distributing flyers around Washington, D.C., but also across the country and also online, called Jane's Revenge, that declares there will be a night of rage, looting, burning, rioting if Roe is overturned. What message does this White House have in advance of that ruling as we get closer to it?
So, again, violence and destruction of property have no place in our country under any circumstance, and the president denounces this action. Actions like this are completely unacceptable, regardless of our politics. So we have denounced that, and we will continue to denounce any violence or threats.
Well, there you go. I mean, that sounds nice. So the Biden administration will give like nominal opposition to this sort of stuff, but in general, they're not really declaring Antifa a terrorist organization. They're not declaring any of this ideology broadly that's associated with this should be declared a terrorist act, terrorist organization, terrorist ideology. There should be a J6 equivalent, you know, board concerned with looking at these people, keeping tabs on them. 2 members of Miami Antifa indicted by the feds for a string of Jane's Revenge related vandalism targeting pro-life pregnancy centers in 2022. Caleb Freestone and Amber Smith, they're both charged with civil rights conspiracy and violating the FACE Act. Fuck yeah. Yeah, give them the 12 years and the $350,000. They could pay that off in prison as far as I'm concerned. Let's see, they targeted pregnancy resource facilities and vandalized those facilities with spray-painted threats. According to the indictment, Freestone and Smith Stewart and other co-conspirators are alleged to have spray-painted threats. Vandalism in June. Your time's up, we're coming for you. Spelled wrong. Jane's Revenge, a local outlet, The Ledger, reported at the time as well, if proportions aren't safe, then neither sick are you, and we are everywhere. Dude, that's some ominous shit, man. Like, if our baby sacrifice isn't quote-unquote safe, then, well, you're just gonna have to incur the wrath of our flames. Jane's Revenge declared that there would be 30 days of patience and mercy, after which mayhem would begin. And this is all over Roe, dude, you know, leaving it up to the states. And it's not like Antifa and BLM and all these Jane's Revenge, tranny, pro-abortion groups, banker finance groups. It's not like they only rock for like a weekend or 30 days or a day of rage. Like, it's seemingly like they're always out there in one form or another fucking with people in some way, shape, or form for the dumbest shit. You know, even if funding is waning, like, they're still out there. See, like, the group took responsibility for recent attacks in pregnancy and pro-life centers in Madison, Fort Collins, Reisterstown, Olympia, Des Moines, Linwood, Washington, Asheville, Buffalo, Hollywood, Vancouver, Frederick, Denton, Gresham, Eugene, and Portland. The indictment also alleges that Freestone and Smith Stewart violated the FACE Act by using threats of force to intimidate and interfere with the employees of Reproductive Health Services facility in Winter Haven because those employees... Okay, yeah. So basically, there are good institutions that provide help to women, and these fucking pro-baby killing psychos want to firebomb them, basically. It's so fucked up. So give him 12 years, give him $350,000. It's cool that KJP and the Biden administration will pay lip service to opposing these groups, but I'd like to see more action. But yeah, I'm gonna consider this a white pill.
When there's nothing left to say, if you want football, you're gay. If you want football, you're gay. When there's nothing left to say, if you want football, you're gay. If you want football, you're gay.